Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mental Health Facts. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the University of Southern California's 15 mental health facts that you should know. So, I thought that we should go through them together and then we'll get my reaction and we'll see what you think about it too. So, I think we should just dive right in and let's get to it. 1 in 5 Americans has experienced some sort of mental illness, with 1 in 25 experience serious mental illness such as bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. Now, I knew that 1 in 5 Americans has experienced mental illness, but I had no idea that 1 in 25 had experienced a serious mental illness, which is like super crazy. I never really thought that it was so common among people, but I mean, I guess it is, and that's really interesting and kind of sad that it's becoming more common. Suicide accounts for over 800,000 deaths globally each year, and with over 41,000 in the US alone. Wow. And it accounts for the second leading cause of death worldwide for 15 to 29-year-olds. That is crazy. I feel that it's so sad that it's impacting the youth so much. And I don't know for sure, but I believe that the first leading cause of death worldwide is like accidents, and then after that for young people, and then after that it's suicide, which is, I just think that's so tragic. I definitely think that it's good to know about this so that we can prevent this. The rate of mental health disorders doubles for those who have been in war or lived through a major disaster, which I had no idea that it was going to be doubled. That I think is tremendous, but it does make sense that somebody who's been through something traumatic does have some sort of mental health issue, because mental health issues aren't something that you're always just born with. It can be something that comes up with certain situations. People with a mental health issue are generally non-violent. Good thing that we know this. In fact, only 3 to 5% of violent acts can be attributed to people with serious mental illnesses, which I think is very important to know, because again, a lot of people don't get help due to the stigma of mental health. And I think this is one of the bigger ones of violence and crime and stuff like that. People with mental illnesses generally can be pretty stable if they need to be. And like they said, they are usually nonviolent. So I think it's very important for people to know that. Number 5, many factors can lead to mental illness, including genetics, physical illness or injury, and traumatic life experiences, which I knew that, but many people may not know that. I think genetically, I think sometimes like these things surface in some people and don't, so that you may feel like, oh, the rest of my family doesn't have this. It can't be like a genetic thing. It has to be, some sort of like traumatic experience. It's not always that. So just have that in mind, that it could just be a genetic predisposition, or it could be some sort of event that happened to you, or like they said, illness, which can bring on these symptoms of like mental illness. Number 6, many people do not seek treatment for mental illnesses due to the associated stigma. Only 44% of adults with a diagnosable mental illness receive treatment. That I think is so sad. That's less than half the people. And these are people that can be living, better lives. Maybe they don't reach full recovery, but better lives if they could get this help, and they choose not to because they feel that people will judge them. And I say that that's so sad. Again, like I said earlier, people with mental illnesses are generally non-violent. So I take that as something that I don't think people need to think that people with mental illnesses are so problematic. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way, and we should actually be proud of those people for wanting to get help or for getting help and talking about it, because it's definitely been proven to help with mental illness. Treatment for mental health problems doesn't only consist of prescribed or OTC medication, or over the counter. Therapy, yoga, meditation, and holistic treatments can all help symptoms. I think that that's a really great thing to know. I think that it does need to be known that certain illnesses need certain medications. So, don't just think that, oh, I could do yoga, and you're not going to fix everything with yoga, but there are certain, variations and steps. So I think that all these, like, like they said, therapy, yoga, meditation, holistic treatments, I think that could all help bring people peace. And definitely people with minor, mental illness, I think that this could definitely help them reach recovery. And I think that it can definitely be part of their plan. But just anybody, like I said, it could definitely, those things bring people peace. It's not necessarily for just people with mental health problems. It just is good for mental health wellness overall. The next one is, by addressing risk factors such as trauma, it is possible to prevent certain mental health disorders, especially in children and adolescents. I think that that's super interesting. I didn't know that you could prevent it just by talking about it. So I think that that's super nice. And it says especially in children and adolescents, obviously, because they're still growing and they're still developing. So you can definitely, by talking about it, by supporting people, you can prevent mental illnesses later on. But like they said right here, it's not limited to children and adolescents. This could even happen in older people. So I think that that's great to know, for anybody that would like to know that. Number 9, improving mental health services in low to medium income countries is not as costly as some may think. An investment of only $2 to $4 per capita would have a major impact on millions of lives. I think that that's very interesting. Obviously, in other countries, $2 to $4 may be way more than what it's worth here. So I think that it would be nice if we could all help other people around the world. Obviously, some people may not be able to. I just think that it's good for people to know that they do have the power to help others with just $2 to $4 per capita. So, multiple people would have to do this, but just that small amount, like from our personal selves, would help people so much. Like I said, it would impact millions of lives. So I think it's important to know that you can do something. Here, serious mental illnesses cost the U.S. almost $200 billion in lost earnings, which is like crazy. That's such a big amount of money. Number 12, 20% of youth have a mental health condition, with 1 in 10 young people having experienced a period of major depression. I think that mental health issues such as depression are definitely becoming a more normal thing in our society, which is very sad to say. But like they said, 20% of youth have experienced depression. So I think it's important to talk about it. I think it's important to look out for young people. Like they said earlier, people from 15 to 29 are more, their second leading cause of death globally is suicide. So I think it's very important to talk about issues, especially depression, because like I said, it does impact people in a way that they want to end their lives. So I think it's important to talk about it. Number 13, members of the LGBTQ community are twice as likely as straight individuals to have a mental health condition, which I just find this super sad. Because you have to attribute some of that to knowing that you're not completely accepted by society. At least now we're becoming a bit more progressive on how to treat each other better and equally, and even equity, I guess you could say, of not treating people differently but treating people better. So the fact that they're twice as likely to have mental health conditions is really sad for me, and I hope that people get help, like I said before. And you watching this, if you know anybody, like I said earlier, the youth, people of the LGBTQ plus community, make sure to watch out for each other and just people in general. 70 to 90% of people who seek proper treatment for mental health disorders witness a significant reduction in symptoms. I think this is super important to know. Some people may feel like, oh, it doesn't matter because it's not going to help me. Getting help isn't going to help me. It is. It's been proven. These sort of techniques and treatments wouldn't be used if they didn't work. That's not an 100%, this is going to work. Different things work for different people. Keep trying, keep getting help. Last but but not least, most people living with mental illness had led productive lives despite their challenges. I think that this is very important for people to know because a lot of people may feel that people with mental illnesses, it is a major cause of disability, but it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. And like I said, just because somebody may seem like they're perfectly fine in society and fitting right in, it doesn't necessarily exclude you from maybe having a mental illness or other people. So you never really know what people are going through. But also for people who do have mental illnesses, this gives you hope to know that you can lead a productive life and there is recovery. That recovery really is achievable. So I think that that's important to know. And those are the 15 facts. And I'll see you guys back on mental health facts next week. So that's it for me now. Bye.